Mercy,
But what?
mercy, mercy, mercy. Is that true? When a woman says something, she always means something what? Else but what? As a woman, do you have a problem with that? Yes or no?
The truth.
You know, in other words, we need to talk, or the conversation may be about promises that I might have made, but deep down there's another issue. Deep down there's something else. We don't spend time together, we don't do anything anymore. There's other things missing that's not coming from me, the man, and you're using other things to somehow get me to understand that, but that's not what you're saying. And even though Leah was being blessed with children, what was her secret wish?
Love.
She wanted to be loved. Wow. They're being intimate, but what is she not feeling? She's not feeling loved. That's huge. God is love, and love is what?
Right.
Life. And if you really plan to have long life, peace, love has to be all around you. No ifs, ands, and buts about it. But it goes, yes.
See, the problem with women is that we flow like a river.
Mm.
And our whole
Heard
life
that.
is in a river, and then we just pluck out those things that we need to use to help you hopefully understand. And that's why it says we are complex.
Which means?
Well, complex. We're
Complex,
complicated.
yeah. Okay, complicated.
Ambiguous is difficult to comprehend, and ambivalent, we're fluctuating. Because we're got a lot of things going at the same time.
That sounds confusing. It is.
It's confusing to her if she doesn't understand that.
It goes on.
All right. Leah conceived a fifth and sixth time and said, God hath endued me with a good dowry. Now will my husband dwell with me, because I have borne him 6 sons. Leah had given birth to 6 sons, and Rachel was still barren. But one day she too conceived. She bore a son, and in her joy named him, The Lord shall add to me another son. A characteristically female way of letting everyone know what she needs. Her prayers were answered, but the birth was difficult, and as she lay dying, she named her second child, Son of my suffering. What suffering was she thinking of in those last conscious moments? Of her suffering as mother, or as shared wife, rival wife, cruelly replaced in a contemptible trick? When a woman expires as her baby takes its first breath, to whom do her thoughts turn? To the little one she will never put to her breast, or to the one who lay on her breast and made her conceive? Rachel, the beloved wife, consumed her whole life by the worry that she was not loved, and was buried along the way, for her husband was a nomad.
Wow, wow. It's interesting because Rachel was actually chosen first. I mean, her husband, Joseph, is it Joseph?
Jacob.
No, Jacob. Jacob, he worked what, 7 years to have her as his wife? And then, once he was tricked into marrying her sister Leah, he worked another 7 years in order to have her as his wife. And yet, she dies wondering if she was ever what? Loved. Does she represent a lot of women today? Is Rachel still alive in the hearts and minds of women today? Meaning, wondering if was she ever really loved? Yeah. I mean, that's amazing. Yeah. However, it goes on.
Leah, who was cradled but one night by gentle words not destined for her. Leah, who sipped but once from the well of Jacob's love. Leah, whose secret shame and humiliation were barely eased each time she named a son. Leah, who had lived only to become her husband's beloved. Leah, who would have given anything to be Jacob's only wife. Leah, who had fought with the only weapon she had, fertility, finally won. On his deathbed, Jacob, her husband, expressed his last wish to his 12 sons, the precious gifts of his 2 wives and their maids. Bury me with my fathers. There they buried Abraham and Sarah, his wife. There they buried Isaac and Rebekah, his wife, and there I buried Leah. Forced upon him at first, Leah finally became his chosen wife, the only one, and Jacob asked to be laid in the dust beside her. The God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob is also the God of Sarah, Rebekah, and Leah. The God who had given Sarah a child in her old age, who gave Rebekah twins when she was sterile, saw that Leah was not loved and decided it should be otherwise. He made her fertile, and as she became a mother with determination, courage, and perseverance, she developed a personality and character that led her into her husband's heart, and Jacob recognized her as his best wife, his legitimate wife, the wife he truly needed, worthy to stand beside him as the mother of a chosen people.
Wow, wow. How did she win? How did she finally get him to realize, recognize her as his legitimate wife? How did that happen?
So she developed a character,
Yeah, yeah.
personality and character.
Right. A lot of women don't necessarily feel loved by the man that they married. And a lot of them, out of frustration, they get angry, they get upset, and they just can't seem to settle down. They can't seem to deal with that. They're waiting for him to step up. They're waiting for him to change. But God is amazing because God gifted the woman. The woman has the gift of influence. She really does. And instead of her waiting for her husband to change, you know she developed a relationship with the great I am. And she becomes fertile. And with what it says,
She became a mother.
she became a mother. It's amazing because she became a mother with determination.
Right. And that was because it was important back then for the man to choose a woman that was going to properly raise his children. Because remember, they were always looking for the Redeemer to be born through the race.
Right.
So it was important that they chose the right wife. And obviously she showed forth those characteristics that he said she's the one.
So he saw something in her
that he needed.
that led her into his heart.
Mhm.
And he embraced that. I mean, they say that there's nothing that a woman wants that she can't get from her husband. Of course, if she's following God's plan.
Right, because she's not going to ask for the BMW and the beautiful mansion house and all of that, so she has to be God-led.
Okay, so with determination, courage, and perseverance, she develops a personality and a character. Wow, how important is that? The man is blind, he can't see. And then all of a sudden he does see.
Because what he sees, a man is visual.
Yeah, he
And
is.
what he does see, it reaches his heart. So she had a personality that all of a sudden he woke up and he saw something he didn't see before. And so we as women need to understand that men are visual. And if they see it in us, then it will be attracted to them.
Mm-hmm. Did we get that? Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. He needs help. You know he needed help because God said it's not good that man should be alone, right? So he created woman. And God's plan is amazing because he creates woman, and it's amazing, the woman's ability to be able to influence and impact the life of a man. It is really amazing. The man falls in love with her, right? And of course she needs to be loved, feel loved, and know that she's loved. But when God created the woman, he didn't create her to receive human affection. He created her to receive divine love. Now how can a man who doesn't know God give her what God created her to receive, divine love, if he doesn't know God? Which means that woman's needs will never be what?
Met.
They'll never be met. After you buy her the house, after you buy her the car, after you let her shop till she drops, she still will not be what?
Happy.
She will not be happy because there's still an emptiness inside of her that stuff cannot fulfill. Because what she's really seeking is that divine love. That divine love is amazing. That agape love is amazing. It's unconditional love. It's not I love you because you made me a great meal, or you bore my children, or you just do so much for me. In spite of all that, it's a love that never changes. It's a love that even though I can see the passion in your eyes, and I can see the pain. I see the passion, but I see the pain you're trying to hide from me. And I'm aiming at your heart. Because until you win the heart, you don't really have her. You understand what I'm saying? God's love goes much deeper, deep.
Surface.
It's not just surface. And even though she has been bruised and she's in need of healing, because of his relationship with God, he beareth all things, he believeth all things, he hopeth all things, he endureth all things. His love for you never what? It never fails. You know, I don't know if I really fully ever understood the power of the relationship. Maybe not even until now. It's not like it just happened this moment, but in my latter years, boy, grace and power is just beautiful. The concept, it is. This is my grace, and power. God is both grace and power. You feel what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Grace was there for you. She nurtured you. She prayed for you. She felt for you. Speaking of your wife, she was actually going through it with you. Grace never gave up on you. Can you feel that? Woo! Grace is like amazing. Because when you were up, power was taking care of Grace and the family. And power was there to minister to her. You know, and we need each other. We don't do well apart. It's not good that man should be alone. We do well together, but you can appreciate her more when you see her as grace, blessing, grace and power working together to make each other all of what God has called you to be. It's amazing. It's an amazing concept. I don't want to be without grace. No, I pray, God, keep Grace alive. Man, I'm trying to do everything I can to keep Grace healthy. You know, because without grace, power's in trouble. Power becomes weak, it gets torn down. You understand what I'm saying? I mean that. That's real.
But the dynamics of it all is that as one gives, it inspires the other to return that. You know, and that's how it's a give, and it's like a circle of giving and take. And you're not taking to keep; you're taking to receive and to give again. And so it's a dynamics that people today don't understand. That's why there's male and there's female, because both have different qualities to give to each other that keep each other dependent on each other and needing each other. Mm-hmm. You know, that's the way God created us. But today, a woman sets herself up for failure because she says, "I don't need you." And she shows it forth in her, I can buy the car, I can buy the house, I have a career, I don't need you. And so then a man needs to be needed. And so when he's not needed, the relationship is going this way. You know? And so women they've lost that understanding. Well, everybody, man and woman, because sometimes men today look for women like that. You know, someone to take care of them because that's the way society has set it up for them. But it doesn't work. And that's why the relationships don't work.
Powerful. Powerful. However, it goes on.
It was all very long ago, I admit. It's an old story, so terribly outdated, but how fascinating to those who care to ponder the mysteries of human nature. For you know as well as I that woman's true desire is woman's true desire, and that habits, customs, and styles have no profound influence on it.
Did you get that? Woman's true desire is woman's true desire, and that what? Habits, customs, styles. Once you accept God as your Jesus as your personal Savior, customs, habits, and styles are gone. They don't mean anything anymore. Now you're on a different plan. You're on God's plan. So your every word, your every thought, your every deed must harmonize with His plan. You understand what I'm saying? And therefore, it's not like, well, it's not my custom. You know, that's not the way we do things. No, we need to know how God does things and be willing to do it the way He does it. Are you feeling what I'm saying? And in other words, it says, woman's true desire. What does she really want more than anything else? What is her ultimate will? Her most basic need? Is it to have children? To be rich and successful? To be beautiful and young? Or is it to be loved, to feel love, and to know that she's loved? And if it can only be one of those categories, which one would you choose?
Be loved.
You know, every woman says that. They all say that. They say to be loved.
To feel loved.
Hold on.
That's that group, though.
Yeah. Because you said to be loved.
Be loved, feel loved.
because they're not all